Chapter 4. On the train. Time skip on the train. Hayley found an empty compartment and sat by the window, watching families weigh their goodbyes. James came to the door, already wearing his Gryffindor scarf. "Stick close to the nice kids," he said with a grin. "Avoid Slytherins unless you want a lecture on pure-blood superiority. And if anyone gives you trouble, tell them your brother knows the best way to charm a frog into their sock drawer." Hayley laughed. "Got it." He ruffled her hair one last time. "See you at Hogwarts, little sis." The train whistled, and James jogged back to join his friends further up the car, Sirius Black, loud and laughing about something ridiculous, and Remus Lupin, quiet but smiling faintly behind his book. Hayley watched them go, then turned back to the window. A moment later, the compartment door slid open. A red-haired girl stood there, green eyes bright but shy. Sorry," she said softly. "Everywhere is full. Mind if I sit here?" Hayley smiled warmly. "Of course not, I'm Hayley Potter." "Iris," the girl said with a smile, setting down her luggage. "Iris Evans." The train gave a mighty lurch, and they both laughed as they nearly fell off their seats. "First year?" Hayley asked. "Yeah," Iris said, brushing her hair back. "You." A woman with a trolley comes by the compartment, full of sweets. "Anything off the trolley, dears?" the woman said as she looks at Hayley and Iris. Hayley remembers that her mother gave her some money, and she pulls out some coins. "We'll take some." Iris looks over to Hayley a little shocked. The woman gives the girls some sweets and starts to move on. The two girls smiled at each other, strangers turned instant friends, as the Hogwarts Express rolled into the horizon, carrying them towards magic, mischief, and the start of something extraordinary as they eat the sweets that Hayley bought. Chapter 5. The Sorting Ceremony. Time skip evening. The golden light of the setting sun bathed the train as it cut through green hills. Inside their compartment, Hayley and Iris had talked and laughed for hours about magic, about Hogwarts, about what their houses might be. "I think I'll be in Ravenclaw," Iris said thoughtfully. "Mum says I've read too many books for my own good." Hayley giggled. "James says Gryffindor's the best house because they have the most fun, but he's biased." The door slid open suddenly, and a boy with dark hair and a mischievous grin peeked inside. "Oi, Hales, there you are." Hayley's eyes widened. "James, you found us again." Behind him stood two other boys, one she already met, Sirius Black, and another who she didn't get a chance to meet until now, Remus Lupin. "This is my sister, Hayley," James said proudly, stepping aside. "And her friend." "Iris Evans," she said politely. Sirius gave a dramatic bow. "Pleasure, Iris Evans. I'm serious as in serious trouble." Remus rolled his eyes but smiled softly. "Don't mind him. He's been testing that joke all summer." Hayley laughed. "It's working." Sirius grinned. "See, Moony, someone appreciates art when they hear it." "Art," Remus murmured with a sigh. James ruffled Hayley's hair. "You nervous about the sorting?" "Maybe a little," she admitted. "What if I'm not in Gryffindor?" Sirius leaned against the doorframe. "Then you'll just start a new legacy," he said with a wink. Before Hayley could reply, the train whistle blew. "We're almost there," Iris said excitedly, peeking out of the window. Time skip boats to Hogwarts. The night air was cool as the first years stepped off the train, steam curling around their feet like restless ghosts. Hayley clutched her cloak tightly and looked around in wonder. Owls hooted, lanterns bobbed, and voices filled the dark platform. Furs years over here." The booming call came from a giant of a man holding a lantern high. His wild beard gleamed gold in the light, and his smile was warm despite his enormous size. Hayley blinked. "He's huge," she whispered to a nearby girl clutching a cat. "Think he's a professor," the murmured back. "Name Hagrid," the man said, overhearing them easily. "Keeper of keys and grounds at Hogwarts. Follow me, no dawdlin'." Behind them, a familiar voice rang out. "See you inside, Hayley," James called, waving from a group of older students. Sirius stood beside him, already grinning like he owned the place. "Don't fall in the lake, Potter Jr.," Sirius yelled. Remus gave a quiet laugh, elbowing him, while Peter tried and failed to look brave. Lily rolled her eyes but offered Hayley a kind smile. "Ignore him. He's an idiot most of the time." Iris laughs at that as Hayley grinned. "Thanks." "Boats this way," Hagrid bellowed again. "No more'n 4 to a boat." Hayley ended up sharing with Iris Evans, Lily's younger sister and her new friend, along with 2 other nervous first-years. The boats rocked gently as they climbed in. "Everyone ready," Hagrid called from his own larger boat. "Right then, forward." The boats glided on their own across the inky water. The reflection of the moon rippled beneath them, and ahead, rising out of the mist, stood the castle. Hogwarts. Iris whispered to Hayley, "It's beautiful." Hayley smiled softly. "Yeah, it really is." They slipped under an ivy curtain and into a hidden cavern, the boats bumping gently against stone steps. Hagrid jumped out, water splashing around his boots. "Mind your step," he said cheerfully as the first-years followed him up a winding path toward the looming oak doors of Hogwarts. Time skip outside of Hogwarts. The great doors creaked open, revealing a tall woman in emerald robes and a pointed hat waiting for them. "Welcome to Hogwarts," she said briskly. "I am Professor McGonagall. In a few moments you will be sorted into your houses. They are Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. Your houses will be your family while you are here." Hayley felt Iris shift nervously beside her. The professor's tone was firm, but there was a glimmer of kindness behind it. McGonagall continued, "When your name is called, you will step forward, sit on the stool, and try on the sorting hat. It will decide your house." She looked over them once more. "Now follow me." They followed her into the great hall, and Hayley's breath caught in her throat. Thousands of floating candles lit the vast room. The ceiling mirrored the night sky, and the 4 long tables stretched out beneath it, each filled with whispering students in colored ties and robes. Hayley spotted James almost immediately at the Gryffindor table, Sirius beside him, both waving wildly. Remus gave her and Iris an encouraging smile, and Peter clapped excitedly. Lily waved, mouthing to them both. "You'll do great." Iris nudged Hayley. "What if it doesn't want me?" she whispered. Hayley bit her lip. "Then we'll start our own house, the brave and terrifieds." Iris giggled, and the tension broke. Time skip, sorting hat ceremony. At the front of the hall stood a small stool with a ragged old hat resting on it. Suddenly, the hat twitched, then spoke. "Oh, another year, another feast. Let's see what courage, cunning, heart, and wit await me tonight." Gasps and laughter rippled through the crowd. One by one, names were called. The hall filled with cheers as each student was placed. When Iris's name was read, she stepped forward bravely despite the trembling of her hands. The hat slipped over her curls, paused, then shouted, "Gryffindor." Lily leapt up, cheering loud enough for both sisters. Iris's face glowed with pride as she hurried to join her at the Gryffindor table. Then came the name that made Hayley's stomach flip. Potter Hayley. Whispers darted through the hall, but Hayley notices a second-year Slytherin going quiet. She notices he has long black hair, but she doesn't know he's the victim of James's bullying, but stays quiet before she walked over to the stool and sat down. The hat sliding down over her eyes. The world fell away until only the hat's quiet voice filled her ears. Another Potter are you? Bravery, yes, but also kindness and a clever spark. A good heart, this one." Hayley whispered in her head, "Please, not far from James." The hat chuckled. "Oh, you Potters, always wanting to look out for one another. Very well then, better be, Gryffindor." The table exploded with cheers. James stood on his seat, clapping wildly. "Knew it," he shouted. "Didn't doubt for a second." Sirius whooped, "Welcome to the best house there is." Remus smiled warmly. "Congratulations, Hayley." Peter clapped until his hands went red. "You did it." Hayley ran to the table, grinning from ear to ear. Iris hugged her first, followed by Lily. James ruffled her hair, pride glowing in his eyes. "Told you, kiddo, it's in the blood." Hayley looked around at the enchanted ceiling, the flickering candles, the banners fluttering red and gold. For the first time, she felt it completely. She was home. Chapter 6, The Feast. Time skipped the welcome feast. Hayley could hardly sit still. The moment the last first year was sorted, the golden plates before them shimmered, and then with a soft whoosh they filled themselves. Roast chicken, shepherd's pie, steaming bowls of mashed potatoes, golden rolls, corn on the cob, treacle tart, pumpkin pasties, the table practically glowed with food. Hayley's jaw dropped. It just appeared. Sirius grinned proudly. First Hogwarts miracle of the year. Second, Remus corrected. The first being you managing not to set the boats on fire. Hey, Sirius laughed. That was one time. James chuckled, leaning towards his sister. Eat up, Hales, trust me, you'll need your energy here. Hayley's plate was already full. She didn't remember reaching for anything. Is it always like this? Every feast, James said between mouthfuls. You'll never want to eat Mum's cooking again. I heard that, Hayley teased, elbowing him lightly. Across the table, Iris was chatting excitedly to Lily about the sorting hat. It talked to me. I thought I imagined it, but it said I had the heart of a lion. Lily smiled fondly. That sounds about right. Heart of a lion and appetite of one too, Sirius added as Iris reached for a third roll. Iris rolled her eyes. You're one to talk. A laugh rose from the next seat over, and Hayley turned to see two older girls joining the Gryffindor table, both in second years. One had wavy blonde hair and a mischievous twinkle in her green eyes, Marlene McKinnon. The other, a dark-haired girl with sharp brown eyes and a sliver-trimmed tie, lingered just beyond the table, Dorcas Meadows, wearing Slytherin clothes. Lily Evans, Marlene called playfully, sitting across from her. You ran off the train without saying hello. I was starting to think you'd forgotten me. Lily laughed. As if I could forget you. Marlene, this is my sister, Iris, and this, she motioned towards Hayley, is Hayley Potter, James's little sister. Marlene's grin widened. The famous Potter sibling that James couldn't stop talking about. It's nice to meet you, Hayley. Hayley smiled shyly. You too. A low voice chimed in behind her. And I'm Dorcas. Hayley turned. Dorcas stood with her hands clasped, expression cool but not unkind. Her emerald eyes flickered between Lily and the Potters. Lily's smile softened. Dorcas is one of my friends too, though she insists on staying in Slytherin where all the drama lives. Dorcas smirked. Someone has to keep an eye on the chaos from afar. She looked down at Hayley. You've got that same spark your brother has. Gryffindor suits you. Hayley blinked, surprised. You think so? Dorcas shrugged lightly, the corner of her mouth curling up. Let's just say you Potters don't exactly blend into the background. Especially not this one, Sirius piped up with a grin, earning himself a sharp jab from James. Lily rolled her eyes. Ignore them. They're unbearable once the food arrives. Unbearable, Sirius gasps dramatically. We're delightful. Remus raised an eyebrow. Define delightful. Sirius pretended to think, tapping his chin. Handsome, funny, charming. And completely insufferable, Marlene cuts in smoothly. Don't forget that one. The table erupted in laughter. Hayley, for the first time that night, felt the knot in her stomach completely disappear. She leaned back, taking in the glow of candles and the warmth of everyone around her. McGonagall passed by, her eyes softening slightly when she caught sight of the smiling first-year Potter between her brother and Lily Evans. Dumbledore rose from his seat a due moment later, his voice carrying easily across the hall. Welcome to another year at Hogwarts, he said, eyes twinkling. And for our first years, may this castle be your home, your heart, and your adventure. Hayley's chest swelled with pride as she looked toward the head table, then back to James and her new friends. Feels like an adventure already, she whispered. James grinned, nudging her shoulder. That's because it is, little sis. And as the hall filled with laughter, clinking goblets, and the rustle of owls swooping overhead, Hayley knew it. Her story at Hogwarts had just begun.